Good morning. This is meteorologist Steve Krasnowski, and this is your weather briefing storm scoop update. It is Wednesday. I'm good this time, October 14th, 2020, and we're going to call this one the freaking weekend. Not because it's the weekend, it's just we're going to talk about the weekend. Possibly some more rain to areas that need it. But first, there is weather before that. This is it's nearly a 4 sigma ridge at 500 millibars from the Euro in the Arctic this week. I've highlighted that here. This is extremely cold. It's a very impressive high latitude blocking, which will partially modulate the evolving threat for a storm near New England this week. We've talked about that yesterday, Monday as well, how that threat was there, and now it's all coming together. As I lay out in the image, this region will force the far eastern edges of an Atlantic ridge to slow down greatly, pushing the middle of the ridge up into Greenland. Big amplitude increases upstream of this, then the Hudson Bay's low surging throughout the continental U.S. trough will also slow down and stretch out. So you can see how this will deepen our trough. It'll force the jet. We got to look at the jet when forecasting this, right, for directional. This will force the jet upstream, so the ridge will push further north, creating that trough. So this huge region here, it's sort of a closed ridge, so that storm can push through slowly. And here, the dotted red ridge is the axis increases in amplitude. It'll shove the jet flow into an increasingly meridional pattern from the east. Besides just increasing the amplitude of the jet stream over North America, it'll also mean that the eastern edge of the trough is very north-south oriented, shown here with the pink line from the mid-Atlantic through Canada. So the jet stream here will be effectively stalled from west to east motion, allowing favorable lift and southerly flow where it ends up setting up. At the surface, this will probably look like a cold front slowing down to a stall, almost occluded, with conditions favorable for atmospheric river development over the northeast U.S., so lots of available moisture coming from the Gulf. A persistent southerly flow overlaps with constant surface lifting and modest mid-level support. This will occur probably early Friday, likely along the East Coast. Will probably feature scattered to moderate heavy rain with the warm conveyor belt. So the north and south setup also has implications. Let me go back. For the jet dynamics moving forward, it means that the southern tip of the jet will be moving far faster west to east over the U.S. than the northeastern edge. So the trough will start assuming a negative tilt as this happens, which just about always spells trouble. The exit regions ahead of negatively tilted troughs are infamously good at quickly strengthening storm systems at the surface, so we really have to keep an eye on that. Really getting some favorable atmospheric conditions here. Speaking of favorable atmospheric conditions, this is from the Euro. I couldn't actually know this is GFS. I apologize. I couldn't draw it up any better myself. So it's GFS forecast from next week. Has the trifecta of ridging in Greenland, in the Gulf of Alaska, and the North Pole. If this was January, we'd have severe winter weather, widespread across northern Eurasia, central North America. But since it's October, not so much. Atlantic tropical cyclone formation. I feel like we're never going to stop talking about this. Chances look to be focused over the Western Caribbean over the next 2 weeks. Again, just need some watching. What we know for the next few days. An area of low pressure will likely form in the Western Caribbean by this time next week. It has a pretty good chance of becoming a tropical cyclone. Where that goes, not sure yet. We're also not sure of how strong it might be. Again, these waters are still pretty warm, so you can't just cross it off the list. A little closer to home, this is the Euro. It's all in for Saturday. We have heavy rain, winds draws in cold air with the change of the snow in the mountains. Talked about that yesterday about the elevations. Again, that snow looks overdone here, but it will be snowing in those elevations, but not at the surface. GFS is more progressive, further east, less rain, still a soaker, less snow too. It's focused on northern New Hampshire and Maine mountains. We could salvage Saturday afternoon if it was the GFS. And trying to identify analogs for your winter outlook based on sea surface temperature patterns, and it's a bit challenging. Why do you ask? Well, this is La Nina. This La Nina from this year we're expecting is coming with a monstrous warm pool in the northeast Pacific, which is atypical for cold ENSO events. So looking at other things on the map, look at the Indian Ocean, it's scorching. So there's just a lot of things you would typically look at that you can't look at now, and I don't know, you throw it out the bathwater. Anyway, that's it for me today. Meteorologist Steve Krasnowski. Sorry it's so long. We'll see you soon.